Madam Speaker, I thank you. I rise to support and to make my comments on this very, very important report which has been tabled by Senator Faki, report on the Parliament of Kenya delegation to the 64th Commonwealth Parliamentary Commonwealth Conference. Madam Speaker, one of the things that has really made me happy when I was reading this report is that for once, a delegation has gone to discuss things that affect us directly. In this country, Madam Speaker, we've been grappling with the challenges that face the issue of the doctrine of the separation of power between the three arms of government. And I'm quite happy that in this conference, that is an issue that was given a lot of weight to be able to make it clear that the role of these parliaments is to be able to ensure that they provide oversight, make legislations, and also to make a clear distinction between the three arms of government. I'm quite impressed, Madam Speaker, that this conference also focuses on issues of climate change. I echo the words of my two colleagues who have spoken, that it is imperative that we focus on improving our climate. We always have to ask ourselves, how did we find this world? Madam Speaker, when I was growing up as a young boy, we didn't have any problems of droughts. I never knew anything about droughts. In fact, we used to read about droughts in other countries, but not Kenya. But because of our own human activities, we've destroyed all our water towers, we've destroyed all our forests, we've destroyed the entire environment, you know, and even this issue of rural-urban migration is making it even worse, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm happy that now the issue of the environment, in terms of the entire Commonwealth parliaments, is something which is being taken seriously. Because what will affect us here in Kenya will also affect other countries. And I hope that this House will make it its business to be able to come up with clear policies that defines the future of this country, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the challenge we have as politicians is that we only care about ourselves and we don't care about the future generations, who we argue on a daily basis that we are bequeathing this world to them. So when I see such a delegation coming back and reporting that they went there to deliberate on issues of the environment, it makes me very hopeful about the future of this great country called Kenya. Madam Speaker, the issue of respect is also something very important. We have our young children, we have our brothers and sisters who work in parliament, that we have to respect them. We have to show a distinction between legislators and people who work there. I'm happy that this conference was bold enough to discuss the issues of sexual harassment, because, you know, we live in this world, and this world has got many different kinds of people. People who do not respect themselves. And I'm happy that as legislators, we are able to distinguish that it is imperative and it is important for us to respect the people who work for us. Madam Speaker, I'm quite happy also that the role of youth and employment was discussed heavily in this conference. And I'm happy that Uganda was used as an example to show how they're creating opportunities for the youth. This is something that even us here in Kenya, we must follow to ensure that the youth, because, Madam Speaker, people keep on saying, the youth, you are the future leaders. There's no future if we destroy the environment. There's no future if we continue inculcating the culture of corruption in this country. So it is important that we, current leaders, Madam Speaker, come up with proper policies that define the current position of the youth, and looking at every 5 years, because it is bad that in this country now, Madam Speaker, the youth no longer care about the 5 years. It's about today, because they don't have a clear future. This is something which happens even in the government, Madam Speaker, that the people who are recycled on a daily basis are people who have, maybe some of them raped this country, Madam Speaker, you know, took a lot of resources in this country, but we still keep seeing them being recycled and given big jobs. I think it is time that this country follow the example of countries that have really put the youth up there. The issue of disability, Madam Speaker, is something also important that I've noted that was discussed in this. And I'm happy that this House is encouraging on issues of build. Earlier on this afternoon, Madam Speaker, we discussed about the Kenya Sign Language. That shows maturity. That shows that we are willing to accommodate our brothers and sisters who came into this world differently. We're willing to acknowledge that it is by sheer luck that Senator Olekina can stand here wholly and can be able to speak and people can be able to hear. So we must recognize them so that when we communicate, when we come up with legislations, it can be able to care for the people who are disabled. One of the biggest challenges, and I hope that this House will look at, and also the National Assembly, will look at all pieces of legislation, particularly the ones that have to do with development. When you're developing new housing units, Madam Speaker, I think it will be important as a first form for you to be given approval to proceed with the construction is for you to clearly show that you've taken care or your interest is really on those people who are different, who are special needs. That is the only time that we can see that we are progressing as a country. Having such delegation go out there and actually tabling a report on their conference or their deliberation is something very, very important. And it is important that as a House, we note this and we take action so that if there are any special lessons that we can learn or take homes, we can follow up with, and this House can pronounce itself through motions. We can also follow up with other legislation that can be able to ensure that as a country, we also, we are aware of what is happening around all the Commonwealth countries. The issue of technology, Madam Speaker, is something very important, and I'm happy that it was discussed in this conference. We are trying in this Parliament, as we speak now, Madam Speaker, to use technology. I hope that we can be able to really encourage, because the more we use technology, the more we are able to save our environment. I'm happy that the Kenyan Parliament, slowly by slowly, is becoming paperless. This is a culture that some of us will have to learn slowly by slowly because we like writing. But now coming here, I can turn around the iPad here, be able to look at the order paper. So this is something which is very, very important. Madam Speaker, on the other issue that I thought was very, very important is in the issue of being role models and making sure that we work and we mentor. We mentor the future leaders. I was quite happy, Madam Speaker, yesterday when I saw students from Strathmore University coming here, debate clubs, seeing how we debate. I bet you some of them even debate better than we do. So it is important for them to see what we are doing, for them to work together. We can mentor them in terms of leadership, but they too can also be able to tell us what or how they want to be led. One of the challenges that we have in this country, Madam Speaker, is that we, the leaders, always assume that we know everything. During this mentoring session, one way or the other, we learn that the youth may want to be led a certain way. We may have solutions to their problems, but they could tell us the best way for us to be able to offer them solutions. Finally, Madam Speaker, just dealing with this issue of urbanization, it is quite evident that even when you look at the current population census, Madam Speaker, I was looking at a report, and maybe the good senator from Nairobi can confirm this. The population of Nairobi city alone increased by almost 30 or 39% from 2009 to what we have at the moment. It is quite clear that all urban areas, and particularly because of devolution or devolved systems of government, urban areas are going to be more congested. This House must now come up with proper legislations and planning so that we don't create more slums. Madam Speaker, I thank you.